Okay, we're on 268, picking up on the main selection, so we're ready for the test on Monday. Tale of Two Horses. When Aimé Schiafelli told people about his idea in the early in 1925, they thought he had gone mad. Impossible. It can't be done. Schiafelli wanted to be the first man ever to ride from Buenos Aires, Argentina, all the way to Washington, D.C. He realized that the 10,000-mile journey would be full of difficulties, but it had been his secret ambition for years. Schiafelli knew that he needed two tough and resourceful horses if he was to succeed. He chose Gato and Mancha, Criollo horses ages 15 and 16. They had belonged to an Argentinian Indian chief and roamed free on the plain. Oh, I missed that. They had belonged to an Argentinian Indian chief and roamed free on the plain. What does it mean to roam? Bradley. Yep, wander, right? Kind of the same as wander. How about ambition? What is ambition? Falcone. Your goal or desire, right? Very good. Okay. They were not yet, Falcon, what's up?
Yeah.
Can you just do it in the back? Can you survive on that? They were not handsome and they were headstrong, but they knew how to survive in the wild. Schiafelli and the horses set off in April 1925. After 4 months, the travelers crossed over into Bolivia. In that time, the trio had learned to trust each other and to work together as a team. One day, as they rode along the shore of a lake in Peru, they reached a shallow strip of water. Gato reared up and refused to go on. Okay, let's look at the pictures and the captions. This is Aimé Schiafelli, or Aimé Schiafelli. Aimé Schiafelli was a Swiss teacher living in Argentina. Schiafelli wanted to ride from South to North America across the Panama Canal. And you can see, it says he went from Washington to Buenos Aires. So he started up here, went down all the way down the border here. So basically he rode the whole continent. He didn't get all the way down to the tip, but you can see where he went.
I think he went from Buenos Aires.
But it's you're right, it does say Buenos Aires to Argentina. I thought it said, yep. So he started in Buenos Aires and rode to Washington, D.C. You guys are right, my bad. A man rushed toward them, shouting that the water hid
Quicksand.
He led them to a safe trail. Schiafelli was amazed. The horse had saved their lives. As they rode on through Peru, they began to climb the Andes, a huge range of snow-capped mountains. One morning, they came to a site that made Schiafelli's blood run cold. The way forward was along a rickety. Okay, remember, if you're on the Zoom call, we talked about this yesterday, same thing applies. Forward along a rickety old rope bridge that stretched over a deep gorge. One slip would prove fatal. When they reached the middle, the bridge swayed violently. If Manca panicked and turned back, they would both fall to their deaths. But Manca waited calmly for the bridge to stop moving. And then, when Gato saw his companion safe on the other side, he crossed the bridge as steadily as if he were walking on solid ground. So there's a Criollo. That's what the horses would have looked like in some respects. These horses are very tough and can carry heavy weights over long distances.
It kind of looks like a Mustang.
A little bit, different colors. Horse sense. People believe that horses have a sixth sense that warns them about danger. All right. So the word stubborn means strong-willed. Or excuse me, what am I supposed to? Okay, headstrong. Okay, you guys see headstrong, it's on 267. Or on 268, excuse me. It's on 268, my bad. It's when he talks about the horses. I can't find where it is. Oh, it's in the paragraph right by Washington, D.C. They were not handsome and they were headstrong. Headstrong means stubborn or strong-willed. Which meaning do you think the author meant for you to use? Stubborn or strong-willed? Talk with a partner. Go. Mackenzie, which one did the author want you to take? Okay, Mackenzie's sharing. We're back. Hey, focus in or we're not going to get through everything. Mackenzie, which meaning did the author want to use? How do you know? Okay, that's a good point. Headstrong and strong-willed both have strong in them. And you know that it's going to be a long journey, so he probably doesn't mean stubborn. If it was, you wouldn't want a stubborn horse on a long journey. We didn't talk about what does rickety mean. What does rickety mean, Danielle? Okay, fragile structure, a fragile old structure, probably looks like it's about to fall over. What does the expression blood run cold mean? What does it mean if your blood runs cold? Rajan. Okay. Hadley? Nervous, scared. Okay. Yep. You're so scared that you almost have that feel of like chills, right? Sends a chill through your spine would be another phrase. Do you guys think horses have a sixth sense that warns them about danger? Yes or no, and why? Elizabeth.
Yes, because horses, they sense the danger. Like, the danger could be like 100 feet away, maybe, and they could tell, oh, something's coming.
Okay. Let her in. No password. Rajan. Okay, their other senses are probably better than ours, and they maybe use those. So it kind of seems like it, but it could just be the other senses. Yep. We gotta move on so that we can keep going here and maybe get done.
At this rate, we're going to be late for the library still.
It's gonna be close. From Peru, Shefeli headed into Ecuador and followed a series of tracks through lush forests, over high mountains and down into valleys. At night, Shefeli never tied up the horses. He knew they would not run. The three travelers were sharing a great adventure, each showing the others the way. Zigzagging up a narrow trail one day, Shefeli saw that the path ahead had been swept away by a
Landslide.
leaving a sheer drop. There was no choice but to turn back and find another route. Shefeli tightened Gato's packs to get ready for a long detour, but Mancha had other ideas. Shefeli saw with horror that Mancha was preparing to jump the gap. His heart rose in his mouth as Mancha sailed through the air and landed on the other side. The horse turned and neighed to his companions, not to be afraid. Shefeli and Gato soon followed. As their adventures stretched on, the three travelers reached the Panama Canal and crossed into Costa Rica and then Mexico. Okay, let's look at the herd instincts up here. Okay, herd instincts. Wild horses stay in groups or herds. Mancho and Gata would instinctively follow each other, whatever the danger. Okay. Moving through dense jungle, the trio had to cope with mosquito bites and attacks by vampire bats and poisonous snakes. Once, Mancha slipped into a crocodile.
Infested.
What does infested mean? Like
So much of that it becomes a problem.
Yep, so many of something that it becomes an issue or a problem or dangerous. He only just managed to find a foothold and pull himself up the bank as Shefeli clung on for dear life. 2.5 years after setting out from Buenos Aires, Shefeli reached Washington, D.C. He had achieved his lifelong ambition. I could never have done it, he said, without Mancha and Gato. My two pals had shown powers of
Resistance.
okay, I'm gonna do it again. My two pals had shown powers of
Resistance.
to every hardship. Shefeli was given a hero's welcome, even meeting President Coolidge in the White House. Admirers suggested that the horses should live in a city park, but Shefeli took Mancha and Gato back to Argentina and set them free. Horses seem to remember that their ancestors were hunted by crocodiles and know how to be afraid of them. Dense jungle. There's a picture of a dense jungle. The jungles of Central and South America are home to some of the world's most dangerous snakes, such as the 30-foot, 10-meter anaconda.
Isn't that it?
It's about, if you stretch it out, it'd be about as long as the room, yeah.
Are we moving on?
Yep. Okay, here we go. Born free. Horses who grow up in the country can become sad and listless if confined in a city. Okay, so I know that the main idea of a story is the most important thing. So on page 271, it says, I could have never done it without Mancha and Gato. That sounds like the main idea. What would be one of the supporting details to support that main idea? What supports the idea that Shefeli couldn't have made it without Mancha and Gato? Lisbeth.
Probably if the place where the landslide happened, he wouldn't have, if he had two different horses, he would make them do that.
Okay.
But they kept going.
They jumped the landslide. There's other ones, saved them from crocodiles when they almost got eaten, got across the bridge, the quicksand. There were a lot of trials, right? We got to keep moving forward for time's sake. Okay, it says in the book that Shefeli took Mancha and Gato back to Argentina. Why do you think he did that? What detail from the story helps you understand why he did that? I'll take somebody on the Zoom if they think they have it. First come, first serve.
I think I know.
Okay, go for it.
I think it was because he was mostly because he wanted to, he brought them back to Argentina because that's where they were first born, and let them free so they could be in their natural place that they were born and will live in.
Okay. Anybody else? You're on the right track. Mackenzie. Okay, Danielle,
Because
that's what I'm looking for. It says right here, horses that grow up in the country can become sad and listless in the city. Very good. Okay. Looking at the picture of the jungle, describe what the word dense means. What does it mean if it's dense? Braden. Okay, dense doesn't always mean dangerous, but I think a dense jungle probably would be a dangerous place. Yeah, again. Braxton.
like a tighter area, like enclosed.
Okay, kind of enclosed, very packed, right? Or vast is kind of large and open. Dense can be large, but very tightly packed and thick. Okay, next page. This one's called Hollywood Hero. In 1932, a star was born. He was a beautiful golden color with a white flowing mane and tail, son of a Palomino mare and a racehorse. Golden Cloud was become the most famous horse of his day.
Mr.
What?
What is Palomino?
A beautiful golden horse. Golden Cloud made his big screen debut in 1938. His owners, Hudkin Stables, lent him out to play a part in the Hollywood film, The Adventures of Robin Hood. Later that year, Republic Studios decided to make a series of westerns featuring the singing cowboy actor Roy Rogers. They brought several horses round for Roy to audition. He fell for Golden Cloud the moment he climbed on the horse's back. While they were making their first film under Western stars, Golden Cloud was renamed Trigger because he was so quick. Roy loved Trigger so much that after their third film, he bought Trigger for $2,500. From then on, they became full-time partners. Trigger loved the camera. He often stole the show from Roy Rogers with a well-timed yawn or a graceful dance step. Movie Town. The 1930s was the golden age of filmmaking in Hollywood, California. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's okay. And then here's a picture. Perfect partners. Roy Rogers is called the King of Cowboys, and Trigger soon became known as the smartest horse in movies. There you can see what he looks like. If you recall the song that sometimes plays on our school appropriate country and/or Western music, Should Have Been a Cowboy, when Toby Keith says, just like Gene and Roy, should have been a cowboy, should have learned to rope and ride. At one point he says, just like Gene and Roy. He's talking about Roy Rogers.
Really?
Yeah, should have been a cowboy just like Gene. Gene was Gene Autry, and Roy is Roy Rogers. Little reference for you. He knew more than 60 tricks. There he is again with Roy Rogers. Look at that.
Jeez.
He could walk 150 steps on his hind legs, stamp his hoof to count, and draw a gun from a holster. Trigger became one of the most popular characters in show business. He starred in 887 films and 101 TV shows, and he once even had a party in the grand ballroom of the Astor Hotel in New York City. Like a true star, Trigger made special appearances. He always traveled in style, carried his own horse-sized passport, and signed his name with an X in hotel registry. Trigger finally retired in 1957 and died in 1965, age 33. Roy Rogers was heartbroken. He said he had lost the greatest horse who ever came along. And here it says Trigger's fan club produced hundreds of books and toys for its members. Today we may be less dependent on the horse for transportation and work, but we continue to be amazed by stories of its strength, speed, and intelligence. Humans and horses will always make a great team.
Yeah, top the rule with the horse.
Yeah, rearing back there. All right. So does this article include any dates or numbers in this section?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. And in the first sentence, it even says in 1932, a star was born. He also mentions the number of films and TV shows that Trigger starred in. Are those facts or opinions? I could look that up in a book, or I could look it up on the interweb, right? Okay, so let's look at the last paragraph on 272. Trigger loved the camera. He often stole the show from Roy Rogers with a well-timed yawn or a graceful tap dance. Are these facts or opinions? And identify the key words that let you know if this is a fact or an opinion. I'll read it again. Trigger loved the camera. He often stole the show from Roy Rogers with a well-timed yawn or a graceful tap dance. Fact or opinion, and how do you know? Let's skip to where we're so I'm just gonna call on somebody. Right.
Opinion, because it says Trigger loved the camera. Trigger didn't come up to the camera and say, I love the camera.
Yeah, we can't prove that he loved the camera, can we?
No.
Because Trigger can't talk. There's other clue words in there. What else is a clue word? Falcone. Graceful tap dance. Someone else might be like, that's not graceful. That's an opinion. Yep. There's one other one in there. Bradley. Well timed. Some people might be like, ugh, again with the tap dancing or yawn. Ugh. They might think it's not well timed. So very good. You guys did a great job with that. I'm really proud of you. Okay. All right. We are going to read about the author super fast. Then we got to take a test, and then we'll get ready for.
Mr. Roth,
Yeah, what's up?
are we gonna go over the worksheet first and then we're gonna leave and
Probably
then
not
you
gonna
guys
do-
are gonna
probably-
take the test?
we're probably not going to do the worksheet. We don't have time. So you can just skip it. Hold on to it.
Okay.
Hold on. Shush. Or you're not going to get to library skills on time because we have to get all the stuff ready before we go. Hold on to it though in case we do it next week.
Okay, thanks. I was just wondering.
Yep, and if you come back, bring it with you. Okay, this is Katie Petty. Katie Petty published almost 100 children's books, most of them nonfiction. That means that they're based on facts. She was probably best known for her whimsical nonfiction books, such as Great Grammar Book and The Perfect Pop-Up Punctuation Book. These books, which made learning enjoyable, contain flaps, wheels, pop-ups, and colorful illustrations. Miss Petty won an award for science writing for The Golden Garden, another nonfiction book with wheels and flaps. Although most of the books Miss Petty wrote had nonfiction content, she also wrote several fiction books, some of the young children and some of them for teenagers. Miss Petty valued friendship and made it a point to make new friends throughout her life. She died in 2007. It does not. We could look that up though someday. Okay, so people on the Zoom call, you don't need to worry about that page 93 right now. because we don't have time here. We need to get a spelling test done and we have to do it mucho rapido, okay?
So we can just leave?
Yeah, we'll catch you on Monday.
Does that mean as soon as possible?
That means very fast.
Okay, of course not. Buenos noches.
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
What?
What?
We don't have